What is up, guys? Welcome to your 28th Java game development tutorial, and in this tutorial we're going to be finishing up this core class, which is pretty much all the code that we reuse over and over so we don't have to keep typing it over again. And we're going to be building two methods, update and draw. Now, two things about these: your update method and your draw method are going to be unique every tutorial pretty much. So instead of filling these with useless code, we're going to overwrite them every time we use this class. So we're pretty much, all we have to do is make the method headers, and we don't need to put anything in the body for them. So it's literally going to take about 14 seconds to do. So update animation, and just name this public void update, and you're going to need to pass in long time passed, and all you have to do here is add an empty body just like that. Actually, take that line out right there, and that's all. And since we have to use this method whenever we inherit, all we have to do is fill in the body of this. And since you don't really know what you're updating, you just know that you're going to have an update method. That's why we need to do this. And the next one is just the same. Our draw method draws to the screen, and public abstract void draw, and as a parameter it takes graphics 2D and G, and we don't even need a body for that. So let's go ahead and let me make sure I didn't mess anything up, no errors or anything. So this pretty much, you should know what all of this does already. I just wanted to type it out for you guys in a tutorial or two so you guys can just copy it and see what I'm working with. So this is the code that we don't have to type ever again. Thank God, we just have to type it this one time and we can just inherit it from now on. So I went ahead and let's get to the meat of this tutorial. I went ahead and made another class right here called KeyTest to demonstrate what I'm going to be teaching you, and that's how to get keystrokes or events from the user. Now, as you can see, instead of having to type all that code again, I just extends core, which means inherits from this core.java, and now it inherits everything in here. How awesome is that? So now the only other weird thing I did is I did something that says implements key listener. Now what a key listener is whenever you need to get information from the user, you have to put a listener on something. And what a listener is, it says, alright, wait for an event to happen. So we're going to be adding a key listener to a window, and what this window is going to do is it's going to wait for the user to press a keystroke on their keyboard, or wait for them to click a mouse, or wait for them to do anything. And that's what listeners do. They pretty much just wait, listen for you to do something, and whenever you do something, it runs a bit of code for you. So you'll see later on, but that's why I said implements key listener. That's what we're doing. We're implementing a listener, or making our computer wait for something to happen. And if you're wondering why this is underlined, key listener has three methods in it that we need to implement since we implemented from it. So let's go ahead and do that right now. Well, not right now, but in a little bit. So you already see that I called this run method, so that's what we're going to be doing first after we make a couple variables. Private string mess for message, and just set this equal to nothing. By the way, the program that I'm building, cool, someone's alarm's going off outside. That's not going to be annoying at all. Oh, good, it stopped. All we're going to be doing is we're going to be typing a letter on our keyboard, and when we type it, it draws on the screen and it says like you pressed S or something, and when we release it, it's going to print out on our screen you released S or something. But it's just to demonstrate how you can actually send information to your game and get some information back. And later, instead of just having stupid words, we're going to be moving around images and stuff like that. But once you see how key listeners work and stuff like this, it's going to be really easy to move forward. So let's go ahead, and I'm just going to make this string variable. That's what's going to print out on our screen. We don't need to set it to anything yet because we didn't do anything yet. Now for our actually, let's make something like init. This is going to be my init method, but it's also called init from superclass. So this method right here is going to be public void init, and usually if you already created a method, this would override this method, this init. Where are you, init? Right here. But what we want to do first is we want to call this method specifically. So in order, since we inherited from the superclass right here, how can we call a method from the superclass? Anytime you want to specifically call a method from the superclass, what you need to do is put super dot and then the method name, and in this case it's init. And if you hover over this, it says void.core.init. So that means you're calling init not only this one from the keytest class, but from the superclass called core. So that's how you do that. Next, in our initializing method, we need to create our window object, and our window object is just screen dot get full screen window, just like that. Pretty cool. And now we need to do a couple weird things, but we definitely need them. w.set focus, where are you? Focus right here. Traversal keys enabled, and we want to set this equal to false. Now let me explain what this means. Set focus traversal keys enabled, a long method, but it does something really easy. Whenever you type, like, how can I explain this? Whenever you're on a website and you press like tab, you know that it doesn't just type out something. It does something weird. Like it moves to the next form field, or maybe if you're on your window and you press tab, it moves all around objects. What we want this to set tab to is pretty much, don't do anything weird like that. Just be a tab button like every other button. Why can't you just be normal tab button? So this pretty much says make all your weird buttons weird, and if it was true there'd be weird still, but we want false, and that just makes your buttons like tab act like normal buttons. And after this, what we want to do is add that key listener. So a key listener you can put on pretty much any object, but we want the window to listen for keys. So whenever we're focusing on our window, that's what's going to be waiting and waiting for things to happen. So w.add key listener, and as your parameter you put what do you want to add is your key listener. Just go ahead and put this, and that'll make your window the key listener. So you can put it on different things, but we want the window to wait, since it's the only thing we really can do for now. And after this, after we have our key listener and took care of all our weird stuff, we need to set a message to draw first. So what we're going to do is, in order to exit this program, we're going to use the escape key. We're going to do something weird with that. So press escape to exit. And later on we're going to do something weird that says, alright, whenever the user presses the escape key, instead of doing what our program regularly does, we want you to stop the entire program and exit. So that's pretty much it for this tutorial. That's all the time I have. But for the first thing we had to do when we run the program initially is pretty much call our superclasses initialization function, create a window that's pretty much equal to what you're looking at, the full screen. We want to take all the weird methods off of tab and stuff like that. We want to add an object that, so when we press a key, something actually is waiting for it to happen. And if we don't add a key listener to anything, we're just gonna press a key and your computer's gonna be like, oh duh, I don't know what's gonna happen. Now we actually have, did I just delete that all? Did I seriously just delete that? And now, since we have a key listener, we actually have this window waiting for something to happen, so it can actually get that information of what key it pressed and do something with it. So that's what that does, and we added it to this, which is pretty much the window. And we gave you a message by default on the screen. We didn't need to do this, but it's nice to know. It's nice to see something when you're first starting out. So in the next tutorial, we're going to be learning how to make key presses and key releases and stuff like that. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next tutorial.